Okay, so I have black now in another game against the last one DOS, and I think it's about time we got a bit of Dutch action in here. And my opponent's got a quite decent rating, 2376. So let's try out my classical Dutch. And I have to do a plug now, by the way. I've got to do this occasionally. If you do go to my website, GingerGM.com, you can now download a 7-hour video of me demonstrating the classical Dutch, and you can also buy the ebook and stuff like that. So I'm just going for the main line here. I normally go bishop b4 against the knight c3, but I want to try to get into the main classical Dutch, and with the move d6 I have basically gone for the setup which I've played most of my life. Now knight to e4 is a move I'm going to recommend to most of the time. We'll play some games in that in another time. But a5 is what I called ye old faithful, and this move is a move that I've played most of my life. Now bishop to e3 is a very peculiar choice against that. That's certainly not a move I've come across a number of times. I'm going to do the normal swing of the queen. The queen often comes over to h5. And the whole point of this classical Dutch is to try to go e5. This break is the most important break. My opponent is now trying to break on the queen side. So how do I go e5? Well, if I go knight c6, he goes d5. This is a common mistake. I could go knight to g4 and play like this. Maybe I could also let's just put my queen on h5. I'm just going to go for a super aggressive setup here. Maybe if idea is knight g4. So my opponent stopped this idea, and now I need to generate some kind of play here somehow. And probably I haven't played the best way here. I kind of feel that this is not the best strategy I've adopted. Maybe knight to e4 now is interesting. Let's give it a go, because maybe I want to exchange pieces off because I'm slightly more cramped than my opponent, and knight to e4 is a very common idea in this classical Dutch line. So exchanging pieces should generally help my position. And now bishop to s6 is a normal continuation here, but I don't really like him taking my knight. So let's just take this one first. And now again I want to play e5. Okay, well I might as well continue the way I've gone. I continued my kingside aggression, so in for a penny, as they say in England, in for a pound. And of course f4 is a move I really want to play. Can I make that work for any tactical reason? g4 is okay, but f4 is the move that I think this position demands, f4, but I don't think it works at this moment in time. So do I have to play h6? It's not really a very fun move to play, is it, h6? And to be honest, it's a good move, c5. My attack doesn't really deserve to work because I've only got my queen attacking. If I get my knight to d7 to f6, that'd be a lot better. But if I go knight d7, I don't really want to allow him to open up the c file. Or do I? Because it's interesting. Let's go knight d7 and with the aim of taking on d6 with my bishop, because now I've got f4 ideas and my knight can hopefully come to f6. So my piece is sort of gradually getting to better squares. Now f4 looks very natural, but do I first bring my knight in? Well, then that allows knight to e5. Even g4. Okay, let's go f4. Let's keep going forwards and keep trying to attack. Now I can open up the g file, and who knows, this could be, I think that's a very clever move my opponent's played. I mean, I can win a pawn here, which I probably should do, but my pieces are very badly positioned here. I mean, my bishop on c8, this is one problem you get with the Dutch. I'm actually a minute down as well, so it's time to move a little bit quicker here. And sometimes, I mean, Yusupov made this famous phrase, and that's a move I completely missed. Oh dear. Not doing very well with the Dutch, am I? I'm supposed to be one of the world's leading experts on the Dutch, and every time I tend to play this opening, I get rubbish positions. And this could be another example of that. Whoops. Well, Right, okay, well, I like to move my bishop, but then the queen comes in, and yeah, my pieces are just not looking happy. This is disgusting. Oh dear. I mean, this is a Dutch gone wrong. My opponent obviously has played well. Have I got any tricks here? I mean, do I have to allow his queen in? That looks... and his rook... No, I can't do that. I think I have to take this, but I mean, my position simply is just... It's just absolutely disgusting. This is like... It makes me feel a little bit ill just looking at this. Well, in future, I'm going to have to play the Dutch a bit better. So, as I was saying earlier on... you know, buy my books on the Dutch because they give you great positions. Well, yeah, I mean, this is not a model example of that, is it, by any means? So my opponent's played well. I probably shouldn't take it on g3. It went wrong. I'm down on time. My position is collapsing. He's taken on c7, taken on g5. Not even sure I can bother to play on. Well, let's try play on a little bit. I mean, you can't win by resigning, can you? I've only got a minute, so that's also working against me. I really need to get... I mean, I need a miracle here. I mean, my opponent can simply take on c7, even with his queen, so his queen coming to d8 is probably very clever, and he's found this good move. I need to try to generate some play, but he can come in with check. This is the move I'm worried about. Then his rook comes in. It's looking smelly. Do I have any chances here at all? Well, I mean... Oh dear! I mean, this is the kind of moves you don't want to play, and sometimes it's just better to resign. And there you go. This is just this is probably one of the worst games that I've played so far. So oh dear. Well, congratulations to my opponent. Let's just see who he was. That was a Dutch gone wrong. I will resign. I should resign now. Well played to my opponent. I played pretty awfully there. It does happen. So what did I go wrong? Where's my opponent's name? Can't actually see my opponent's name anyway, but only 25 moves in the Dutch whipping that was. So let's just have a look at the position. Well, this a5, like I said, was a move which I used to favour, and I still think it's an okay move actually. But after bishop e3, maybe I handled this in the wrong way now. Maybe I should have tried to prepare this break e5 a little bit better. Maybe, I mean, queen to e8 might be okay, and then after a3, maybe I should go knight d7 here. Or maybe even something like bishop d8. Bishop d8 is a very common idea. You try to put the bishop on d8 so you can go e5. That would have made a lot more sense. Because the way I played it, well, I'm only attacking with my queen, and the magic number to attack with is 3 pieces in chess. h3, the knight comes into e4, and you know, it's not so bad now. Okay, I mean, I managed to get g5 in. It's quite an interesting position, but I need to get more pieces around to get this working. Probably instead of g5 even, it's a bit premature. I should go knight d7, knight to f6 first. At least I got one more piece coming in then, and then my position's okay. But let's have a look. Well, c5, knight d7, and now bishop takes d6. My opponent played very well, queen d3, and here it seems like I'm a little bit overextended here, and my opponent's pieces are very nicely placed, mine aren't going well, so I think this g5 was premature. You can play g5, but only when your pieces are in the attack, and I have to hand it to my opponent. He played extremely strong chess here. Mistake to take on g3. I should probably play a move like c6 and just try to maneuver my pieces towards his king. Taken on g3, the last mistake, falling for knight takes g5, and as we can see, the computer gives this as +5. So that is how not to play the Dutch, and I hope that hasn't put you off buying any of my Dutch products. I will actually try to win one game in the Dutch eventually at some point in my life on ICC, but today is not the day. Hey ho, that's the way it goes. Cheers for watching that video. I will keep coming up with videos soon.